So you're probably like, dude, why are you in Germany right now? So random. Well, I'm gonna tell you. Ended up here kind of on accident, but also on purpose. I have family here in Germany. That's why I'm here, but that's honestly too far into the future. Let me give you more backstory. Last year, my mom invited me on almost a month Europe trip. I was like, I can't afford it by myself. Hey, we'll buy for your tickets because we really want you to come. And so they bought my ticket. I saw a lot of beautiful things with them. I had a ticket that ended when my parents were leaving and it was non-refundable. So if I wanted to change it, it was like 200 euros. Right when I was like, how am I gonna get home? World Packers reached out to me and they were like, hey, would you like to do an experience with us? We will pay you. All we need you to do is talk about your experience. And I was like, yes, I can do that. That's great. So I was like, we're gonna go that's close by, or how can I get back like closer to home? So I ended up in Portugal. I found this little spot in Barcelos, which is like an hour from Porto. And I was like, cool, book all my stuff. I am like taking a plane from Rome to Lisbon, and then a train from Lisbon to Porto, and then another train to Barcelos, and then I had to take a taxi because they wouldn't pick me up all the way up the mountain. So it was a little bit of a trek. Basically, I came to Europe with my parents. They got me a return ticket, but I couldn't use it because Kiana came to travel with me. Now that ticket I couldn't change because every time I changed it, it was 200 euros. So I changed it once, and turns out I needed more time, and I was like, it's better if I just buy a whole new ticket later. Really, it's gonna be so expensive if I keep changing it. I let it pass, Kiana left, and then I needed a place to go. World Packers emailed me and they were like, hey, we would love if you could work with us, we'll pay you this amount and you just share your experience, which I'm doing right now. And so basically the trip paid for itself, me coming over here, but now the tickets to go back to Colombia just went up. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? Well, I had a cousin, Nick. Hey Nick, how are you? He used to live in Hawaii, Germany now, and a bus over there is 84 euros. And to get back to Colombia is 1,000. And then I was in a tent. I did not realize that it would be so like roughing it. Like on the pictures on the website, I thought it was gonna be like a glamping tent, but it was actually like a tent, like when you're camping with your family. I wasn't expecting that, but I was like, you know, I have a place to sleep. I have some time to work. According to World Packers, I'm only supposed to work 5 hours a day because it's work exchange. And so I'm like, no problem, meet the family, they're nice. And they speak Spanish, so I'm like, even better. And so I'm just excited, right? Then the first day starts and I'm like, okay, we all have to be there by 8 a.m. We need to start working. And literally I was trying to vlog while I was there and I just couldn't. Like, the jobs were just hard. Right now we have a break. I'm using my break to take Instagram pictures and film. I'm really tired. I'm literally out of breath. And I don't know if you can tell, but like my face is not that expressive. It's the exhaustion showing. There's a lot of physical labor, and I was so just surprised at the physicality of what we were supposed to do. And to top it off, they wear a naturalista farm. So that means that everybody is supposed to be naked. It was raining almost every day that I was in Portugal, and I was like, I don't really want to do that. I thought that at like nudist spaces, it's, you know, according to your own will. You take off your clothes if you want to. It was a lot of pressure to take my clothes off. It was like a mental battle every day. Day to day was wake up at 8 a.m. and be at the bar, which is like where everybody eats together and hangs out. Have your coffee. You get a coffee or two if you want it. And a piece of toast with jam and butter, and that is at 8 a.m. At 1 p.m. you get a salad, which normally has lettuce, onion, avocado, some sort of sauce drizzled on top, and maybe like a little bit of rice sprinkled in or nuts. Dinner was 8 p.m. and that would normally be like pasta, or we would have, I think one way we had burgers, or like, just to like cut to the chase, it was not enough food. Like, I was hungry every day. There was one day we went grocery shopping and I got as much fruit as I could, and I was like always circling back to my tent to like eat more fruit. I actually lost a little bit of weight while I was there. Hard work. I mean, I was clearing like pathways, raking like kilometers worth of land. I am absolutely pooped. This motion with your body, and I did it like both ways, is super tiring. So before it looked like that tall grass over there. See how it's all bushy? And he cut all of this and I raked it. Pulling out really spiny, prickly branches like raspberries, blackberries if you've ever pulled those. Hello, it is day 2. It is raining so hard. Do you guys hear that? Oh! Can you guys see how hard it's raining? Oh my gosh. Uy.
Imagina, primera vez.
Oh my god.
En ambos brazos.
No, yo no tengo mucho. Pues.
Acá también, acá.
Uy. I'm under a tree and I feel like an animal. I had jeans and boots, so like I was wearing clothes for the work that I was doing, but like just imagine if you're doing that kind of work without clothes on. Even though I told them that I was, you know, sent by World Packers to check out the space, to grab content, there was still an expectation to grab content with my clothes off. And I told them, like, I'm not doing that. If you want me to shoot content for you guys, then that's fine. You can pay me, you know, like we can set up a deal for that, but I'm gonna take my content how I want to, and it's for my channel. I'm not gonna, you know, do something else for somebody else. And so I ended up doing a lot of like my filming and taking pictures like in secret. Good morning. It is the last morning.
I'll take your upload.
No!
Stop. And go there. I will not give you that.
And oh my gosh, I'm so tired. We up until 4 in the morning. And it's raining today, so it's more suave. No tenía que despedirme tan temprano porque normalmente me tengo que hacer acá en la barra a las 8. Pero hoy me levanté a las como 9. También está comiendo una manzana y gritando como cada mañana. Also, there was an expectation to help out with the kids, which, like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even like kids, but specifically their oldest son. And you know, it could have a lot to do with his age, but he was very spicy, you know. He wanted what he wanted. He was the first one to take his clothes off. He would throw things. There was even a time when he took a tree branch, I'm talking like, imagine this but thicker, and swung it at his mom and tried to whack her, and then also tried to whack me. So it was like, it was almost like in some sense we were expected to discipline him, but like that's not my kid. And also I don't mind babysitting, but there's a difference between babysitting and disciplining, and I'm not disciplining anybody's kids. If you want discipline, you do that, because I just don't believe that I personally need to be disciplining anybody's kids. There were other instances that kind of made me, things that made me uncomfortable, specifically with the dad. He would like whisk us off to these adventures, and he'd be like, let's go see this beautiful view, or like, let's go in the car. And I would ask where we're going, and he would just say, like, you're not supposed to ask, you're just supposed to come. We're going on a night drive. So he took all the family, like including the babies. The babies were, one was 3 and the other was 7 months, I'm pretty sure. Hola de nuevo. Son 7, creo, 8. Y por lo general relajamos todo el día. Gracias a Dios, porque yo estaba, casi me muere con las cosas que estaba haciendo. Tomé las fotos y él quiere ir ya, pero yo no sé dónde vamos. Supuestamente vamos por un sitio muy bonito. And so he's driving on the side of this mountain, going super fast, and it's like terrain, it's not like a road, and so it's super bumpy, and there's branches like whipping inside the car, especially because there's no roof. So all these things are just hitting people in the face. I'm in Brazil. I know I started this story time in Germany. I hope I'm not too far from the camera for you guys to hear me. Someone else is using my phone, so I don't have separate audio. We left off. Crazy kid. I'm super vibing with the other volunteer there. She's from Chile. She's super nice. Just a kind soul. But I was so exhausted, and it was so cold. It is so cold. At the end of the day, like, I'm going back to a tent. I'm not going back to a bed, so I'm just sleeping on the floor. I only agreed to be here for a certain amount of time, work a certain amount of time. Like, I gotta put what I did as priority because I signed a contract, you know? And like, it was so frustrating that there weren't working with me, that felt like they were working against me. Like they just wanted the free labor. They just wanted like a volunteer. They didn't really care that I was there for a reason. And there was no internet except when we were at the dinner cabin. So I had no real privacy. If I ever wanted to call like my mom or my best friend, like there was no privacy for that. I also couldn't really get things done because the only time that I could really have internet, edit things like that, charge my computer was when I was at the dinner table. This kid running around literally grabbing food off my plate or touching me or hitting me, rub his hand on whatever I'm doing. I know some people are resilient. I can't work like that. That's if I even had time to like get the work that I was trying to do done. But most of the time I just felt a lot of pressure. Like I know I could have just said like I'm not gonna work and went to the computer, but any time that I wasn't doing what they asked me to do, there was like this gaslighting thing happening, like, oh, you know, you're here to help us, or like we're providing you this, or we're doing this for you, so can you do this for us? You're just feeding me and I'm in a tent. Like, girl, mind games. Or they're like, if you're gonna post a picture, you can't have any clothes on when you're posting a picture. I'm like, what is this? I didn't even tell you at the end, like the dad literally hit on me because they had like, if we were in tents. Here's the other thing is they were like, you'll be in a tent, you'll be in a dome. It was like a glass dome where you can see everything, but the catch is they only have one, and they only give it to people who pay to be there or the dad works there. So, you know, I'm freezing. Everybody knows this because I complain about it all the time, especially when they are telling me like, oh, take your clothes off. That's my first line of defense is I'm cold. So I'm by the fire, you know, waiting for my phone to charge. Actually, so I can call my boyfriend. And the dad's like, if you want, you can sleep in the dome tonight. And I was like, I'll sleep in the dome if you're not there. And then he's like, oh, well, never mind, you know, the whole point is so that, like, we could sleep together, like, we could be in there together, it would be chill, la la la. I'm like, you're grown, and your freaking kids are running around, and they're bad. And your other baby is literally, under 3. Like, the nerve, that nerve. I just felt like, I think also because it had recently come out, but I felt such, like, midsummer vibe. I was like, what is this? By the end, I was like, okay, maybe I can stay just a few more days, extend the stay, not work, just so I can get content, because I hadn't really gotten any real content, and I was tired. And they're like, yeah, you can stay. You know, people usually stay at this, like, area where you're staying, this tent, for, like, 100 something, not dollars, but euros a day. You know, euros are more than dollars. So I was like, girl, 100 something euros for a tent? A lot of people have asked me like, oh, how do you feel about volunteer, like work trades, and I never really wanted to say anything specific because I had never done one, and so it was my first opportunity to actually do a volunteer stay, like a work trade, and I was like, this is perfect. I always want to recommend it, but I'm not really sure because I've never done one. That was my experience. It's hard work, you know. I will say, like, these kinds of experiences, if you're not willing to be around kids or you don't like to clean, you won't really enjoy it. If you don't mind those things, cool, but for the most part, that's what a lot of these include. Also, a lot of them are like, at least the ones that I saw that were available, revolve around parties. That also can happen a lot with hostels, so you just have to be very selective. Here is not a party place, but I'm doing a lot of like physical work. If this company just vetted this organization a little bit better, none of this would have happened. Like, if they just had somebody who wasn't an influencer stay at that place for a week just to review it, come on. And also the other thing is the company paid me an amount, but I still had to fight for that amount, and it was just to cover the expenses of getting over. I freaking hustled to get over there. And then I ended up having to buy my own food anyway because, you know, that they were underfeeding me. And then I had to get out of there. From there, I was going to Germany. We are in Porto. I am walking to un hostel. Entonces voy para ahí para comprar una noche. Let's pull out the sheets. Yeah, they're clean. in Germany. It's just been a crazy day. I got this jacket. I'm treating it as my prize piece. This is my win for so much work to travel. I was on a bus for 36 hours, probably more, because that's just what the ticket said. It should be my last bus, but I'm so beat. It's just too hard. But I'm almost there. This is the last leg. I just need to figure out how to get to my train. The final leg. I'm like 10 minutes away from the bus station, and I slept. Not even because I wanted to, but because I literally closed my eyes, woke up, and then I was suddenly 15 minutes away from the bus station and not an hour. I'm telling you, after that part specifically, that was like one of the biggest reasons I took a break from social media, from YouTube, because I had hit some extreme exhaustion. Because I'd already been traveling for like 2.5 months, but you throw that crap on top of it. And I went back to Colombia, and when I went to Colombia, I edited a few videos, some of my favorite videos actually, and slept. That's all I did. And then I went back to the States to try and, you know, collect myself and save some money, honestly. And I've had people like DM me and be like, hey, I've already done this thing, like I found you on World Packers. I'm like, girl, don't ask me, please. Yeah, that's the story. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching this video. I'm sorry it was so chaotic. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.